Hello there. Very good evening to you. If you're in the UK, happy bank holiday. My name is Paul, and this is M7 My Mind Matters. For anyone that's just joining us, this is just an hour-long broadcast, and it's all about helping you to learn a little bit about the mind and how that works and how you can use it to your advantage. And most importantly, it's about quieting your mind. It's about making that mind calm down, because all day long we have so much chatter is going on and on and on. There's all sorts of words, all sorts of names for it these days, like inner critic or the chimp on your shoulder. We hear about roadblocks, mental barriers. All of these things are the same. It's just what we're thinking. And sometimes it's just nice to get a little break. And that's what this is all about. So if it's your first time here, I'll break it down so you understand what we'll do. I like to start off with breathing exercises, which is really simple. It's very important that you understand that I cannot see you and I cannot hear you. So if you're making noises while you breathe, and I encourage you to, so if you're going, nobody else can hear you. Nobody can see you. After the breathing exercises, and I'm pretty confident, even after the breathing, you'll feel a sense of calmness. Then we'll move on to mindfulness. And that's just a little deeper dive. They're all in the same vein. They're all helping us to calm the mind down. And then finally, we go on to meditation. Now, each week, I'm coming up with a new theme, something different about the reasons why we should be breathing. And I say breathing, obviously, we're breathing all day long, right? You know how to breathe. But think of this as conscious breathing, paying attention to the way we breathe. I'm just going to bring up a chat because I wanted to see, as it's a bank holiday, if anybody's actually going to be here. Oh, I can see some coming up already. So let me take the opportunity to put them on the screen. If I can remember how to do it. Here we go. And we should start to see some chat come through. And I can already see Karen's here. Hi, Karen. Thanks for being here. Do appreciate it. I'm going to pop up. Can't post to some channels. Okay, we don't mind that. Let me just type a quick hello. Bingo. Karen, if you send yours again, I think that'll come through. And if anyone else is watching, I'll leave that on for a little bit, but I will take it off a little later and we'll have the opportunity to ask some questions. But most importantly, it's going to be about breathing, mindfulness, and meditation. Now, the theme for this particular week is sleep and how all of these tools can really help you get a better night's sleep. I've often said this, but I really do believe that sleep is one of the most underestimated areas of our lives. And there's a big reason for it. I think most of us just take it for granted that we've got to go to sleep, right? In fact, if you're anything like me, I'll put my hands in the air and I'll admit it right now. I am a bit of a workaholic and I'm quite happy to work till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm a bit of a terror when it comes to working hard. And maybe you're the same, but it isn't actually good for you. It's certainly not great for the brain. So you know what it's like if you wake up in the morning and you're tired, the day doesn't seem to go so well. You're trying to hold it together, if anything. And that means that you're not enjoying yourself as much as you could. You may not be as productive as you would normally be. Thank you for all the messages. I can see them coming in. Just wondering why they're not sharing on the screen. I'll drop that out and see if we can get them to come back. Great. Okay. So sleep, very, very important for us because when we're sleeping, it's very good for the brain. It helps the brain work with new information that you may have picked up during the day. It's a big detoxification for the brain. So when we're asleep, when we're laying there, when we're relaxing, it's given the brain a chance to clean itself out. And that's also true of the body. The body needs to rest. It needs to relax. It needs to recuperate and get us ready for the next day. And I'm sure most people watching will know that if they get a good night's sleep, then they're certainly going to feel much better for it. And that's really what tonight's all about. We're going to be talking about how breathing, how mindfulness, and how meditation can help you get a better night's sleep. So let's give it a go. Again, I want you to bear in mind that nobody can see you. We can't hear you. So really commit to this. Now, tonight is great, but if you only do it tonight, and if you only do it every Monday, you won't get the full benefits from any of these tools. Mindfulness is called a practice. Meditation is called a practice. And that's because we need to practice them on a regular basis. In fact, if you can do it daily, you'll just get better and better and better at it. Now, I also want to make it very clear that I don't want you to come at meditation or mindfulness or even the breathing with the expectation of stopping your mind from working altogether. You will encounter your mind wandering. It's going to happen. It will happen to everyone. It happens to me. Even though I've been practicing this for many, many years, it still happens to me. And it can be good on some days, it can be bad on others, because you might be under pressure. You might be under pressure from work. You might be having a stressful time in a relationship. Maybe you didn't get the sleep you should have done the night before. And so now you're trying to control your mind, but it is wandering. Here's what you do, no matter what we're doing, breathing, mindfulness, meditation. If your mind wanders, let it. Just wait. And when you realize that your mind's wandered, because if this is all new to you, there's a good chance you won't realize for some time. And then when you've realized, go, whoops, mind has wandered, and just bring it back and focus on whatever we're doing. Now, in all honesty, because these are guided meditations, I would say manifestations then, that would be nice, wouldn't it? But guided mindfulness and guided breathing, generally I find that helps keep people on track, because you're listening to me and listen to the directions. So it should be a little bit easier. Whereas if you're on your own and you close your eyes and you try to breathe, unless you're really focused on what's going on in your own body, your mind will wander. And that is quite natural. That is very typical. Okay. Now, I've said many times, and bear in mind, this is only a few weeks old now, so we're pretty new. But I have said several times that we will start to do different things. So just a heads up, next week, next Monday, which will be, hope that wasn't too loud of a sound at home. It's the first, so it'll be the 8th. On Monday, the 8th of May, I will be doing some exercises with food. So if you'd like to bring along your favorite chocolate or candies or bread or whatever it is that you enjoy eating, we will do some techniques with food, around food. It could be crisps, anything you like. It doesn't have to be healthy. It's just something you enjoy, something that might be interesting. If you do like to be healthy, then certainly bring along some fruit or some vegetables. But that's next week. Okay, let's get started. I do like to do different exercises just so that we can expand your knowledge of tools. And if you're ever somewhere else doing breathing classes or somewhere else doing mindfulness classes, then you may have learned them with me and go, oh yeah, I know this one. And it just makes everything that little bit easier. So I tend to tweak things every week to be slightly different. Although ultimately it's the 3 levels: the breathing, the mindfulness, and the meditation. Okay, let's start by closing our eyes. You can put your hands down onto your lap or onto your legs. Breathe in through the nose for 1, 2, 3. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3. And let it out for 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to go to 4. Breathing in through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4. And letting it out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to do something different tonight that you're not accustomed to. I want you to bring up one of your hands, whether you're left or right-handed, doesn't matter to me, and put your thumb across one of the nostrils. So now you're just going to breathe in through the nostril that's not being squeezed. Let's do that for 1, 2, 3. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3. And now switch the thumb for the finger and breathe out through the other nostril. 1, 2, 3. Breathing in through that nostril. 1, 2, 3. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3. And now crossing the hand across, the thumb is on the other nostril, and letting out for 1, 2, 3. If you're struggling with that, I'm not sure what I mean, then just take a moment to open your eyes and I'll do one so you can see it. If you're comfortable with it and you've got the hang of this, then just simply keep your eyes closed and follow me. So I'm going to breathe in through my left nostril with my thumb on my right nostril. 1, 2, 3. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3. And I simply move the finger across and remove the thumb and let the air out for 1, 2, 3. Now we'll breathe in through that nostril. 1, 2, 3. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3. Thumb on, finger off, and let it out for 1, 2, 3. This is another technique that you might hear of, which is very, very interesting. And again, I want you to be able to go to any breathing exercises, breathing classes, and they're becoming more and more popular all the time, and not be surprised, not say, oh, never heard of that one before. So you can be comfortable. Now, the most important part of the breathing is you get all that air down into the stomach, down into your belly, and it pushes down on the diaphragm. So again, keeping your eyes closed, take a nice deep breath in. Let's do that for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And feel the air filling your belly. If you're not sure where it's going, then start by putting your hand on your chest and see if you can make sure that doesn't move. Letting the air out now for 1, 2, 3, 4. So with hand on chest, in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can move your hand down to your belly, and this time when you breathe in, see if you can feel the air coming down into your belly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just go for a 5. So in through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, open your eyes when you're ready. Now, I want you to bear in mind that today we're talking about sleep and how we can enhance sleep. So there's lots of reasons why people don't sleep well. It could be work, it could be pressure, it could be finances you're worried about. Lots of different reasons. People are actually putting messages up here. I want to say hello to Simon as well. Maureen, a big thanks to you. Thanks for your message. I can see all the messages coming in. I did try put them onto the screen and they didn't show up. I'll just show you. They should be able to see them all, but they're not popping up. So apologies for that, but I can see the messages coming up on my screen. So do feel free to reach out. But here's the key to use this for sleeping. Before you go to bed, you probably heard about caffeine. Try not to have caffeine from around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Obviously, the earlier you sleep, the better it is that you stop drinking caffeine. Again, that's something I'm a terror at. I love my coffee. But if you can reduce that or stop that nice and early in the day, maybe swap it for tea or swap it for decaf, swap it for a hot drink if that's the habit you've got, but just remove the caffeine. And then do this breathing just before you go to bed. And if you wanted to, you could do it in bed. So obviously, if your partner's next to you, they might not like it, especially if you're making lots of noises. But you can get this down to pretty quiet technique. So just give you an example. Now, that's not too loud, but if your partner sat right next to you, that can be pretty annoying. So again, it's something that you might want to consider doing maybe before you go to bed, maybe do it in the bathroom. You could just close your eyes, clean your teeth, and just do some breathing exercises before you go into the bedroom. Simple as that. So there's lots of ways around it. Now, of course, it's also a great thing. Breathing technique is a big one if you get stressed out at work. And I mention this every week. If you're struggling, if you feel under pressure, somebody's annoying you, somebody's winding you up, you feel like you're not going to be able to achieve the goals for the day and you're getting wound up and wound up and wound up, then take the opportunity to get yourself away from work just for a few minutes. The bathroom, sit in the loo, close the door, take some deep breaths. Even better, get outside. Maybe now that the weather's changing, at least here in the UK, get some sunshine on your skin and do some breathing. Maybe feel the wind blowing gently. Listen to the wind in the trees. It's very relaxing and it can help you change dramatically. Now, if you're lucky enough to be at home and you're feeling wound up, then maybe you can go for a walk. And it doesn't have to be in the countryside. Getting into nature is considered to be the best way to go. But if that's not easy for you, then just go for a walk and look for trees, look for pigeons. If you're in a big city, it's going to be a lot harder. But I bet you there are some trees and I bet you there are some pigeons. Okay, let's move on to our next part. So we're moving now to mindfulness. Mindfulness is just an extension of breathing, really. The breathing is great for us. It's helping to clean toxins in and out of the body. Up to 70% of the toxins in the body are removed by your breathing. But mindfulness is really about, it's an interesting name really, isn't it? Because it's mindfulness. So it'd be better to call it mindlessness, because we want to have less mind. We want to be able to reduce what's going on inside our heads. But mindfulness is really an opportunity for you to separate yourself from what's going on in here. If that sounds a little odd, let's try a different term. Think of it as being able to step outside of yourself and just observe what's going on. So we'll give it a little go. We'll start with some breathing exercises and then I'll guide you through it. And it's simply listen to the instructions, listen to the directions and follow them. And I bet you find that this gives you a wonderful sense of tranquility, a wonderful sense of calmness. And if you do this right, you should be able to just calm your mind down. Again, things will happen. Your mind will wander. You might be wondering about dinner, or I've got to do this for the kids tomorrow. I've got to go and do that for as soon as this is over. I've got to go and do this, that. Understandable. And that will be happening to many people that are watching tonight. Just take the opportunity to chill, to relax, and focus as best you can. Just do your best. Okay, let's close the eyes. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose for 1, 2, 3. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3. And let it out for 1, 2, 3. Now, as you breathe in this time, I want you to imagine that the air that you're breathing in is gorgeous, clean air. Maybe you can see that it's white or golden or silver. And then as we breathe out, I want you to imagine that it's a dirty air. It's the toxins coming out. It could be grey, it could be murky, it could be muddy. So breathing in through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, holding on to that gorgeous, fresh, clean air for 1, 2, 3, 4. And now letting out the toxins, the dirty air for 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do exactly the same now for 5. Breathing in through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now let all that dirty air out. The toxins are being released for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keeping your eyes closed, I want you to use your imagination now. Just imagine there's a little ball of light, a miniature sunshine, around 4, 5, or 6 inches away from your eyes, just sitting there in front of you. Try to imagine what that would look like. A tiny little sun, maybe 2 or 3 inches across, rotating, spinning in its orbit, and flames coming off of it. They can feel the heat, and now the energy from that miniature sunshine is sending the heat over to the eyes, and little pools of light are starting to build up in the eye wells. The sunshine stays where it is, but the little heat, the golden light, white light, call it what you like, whatever's best for you, and little pools of light building up over the wells of the eyes. Imagine that gorgeous, relaxing, heated light is now massaging the eyes. If you struggle with your sight, if your eyes hurt from being at a computer too long, just imagine them right now, relaxing. Imagine that light being able to heal those eyes. Loving, calming, relaxing. Now that light is going to make its way up across the bridge of the nose, up onto the forehead. And imagine that light now across the forehead, relaxing you, helping you to chill out. Put a little smile on your face as you enjoy some tranquility. This is the most relaxed you felt all week. And to boot, it's a bank holiday. Even better, an extra day off. Taking that light even higher now, up towards the top of the head. And as that light comes to the top of the head, imagine it massaging the scalp. In fact, it's so relaxing, you can almost feel, it's like somebody stood behind you and they are massaging your scalp. The flames are like fingers. Restful, relaxing, loving, tranquil. And imagine that light coming down across the back of the neck. If you need to, if you feel any pain, any tension in that neck, just move it around gently to release it. Release any tension. Now that light is on the back of the neck, it's making its way down to the shoulders, the left and the right. And now we're going to take that light down the right shoulder only. Feel it coming down onto the arm, the forearm, the biceps, the triceps. And it's swirling around your arm, making its way around the arm, down towards the elbow. If you have any aches or pains on the elbow, rheumatism, arthritis, just imagine that being released. Just imagine that tension just for a few minutes, even a few hours, becoming restful. Now beyond the elbow, into the forearm, down towards the wrist. Feel that energy making its way around your right wrist. Again, this is a place where many of us have lots of tension, lots of aches and pains. Just feel them easing. And now bring that light into the palm of the hand and feel it come out through the thumb in a beam of light. Index finger, middle finger, third and fourth fingers. 5 beams of light now coming out of the right hand. Let's go to the left shoulder. And just use your imagination to feel that light coming down the left arm, over the biceps and the triceps. Imagine it spiraling around, massaging, calming, relaxing, loving. Moving into the elbow, any aches or pains being released. And from the elbow into the forearm, chilling, relaxing, loving, with no difficulty whatsoever. Making its way now down towards the wrist. Spinning around that wrist, and now from the wrist into the palm of the hand. And then a beam of light coming out through the thumb, the index finger, the middle finger, the third and the fourth fingers. And now you've got 10 beams of light coming out of both hands. 5 out of the left, 5 out of the right. Now let's focus our energy once again around the neck. And this time we're going to bring that energy down over the front of the body. Bringing it down over the top part, over our chest area. And now bringing it down towards the belly. And as it makes its way down, imagine it now sending this peaceful, loving light to all of the organs, the lungs, the liver, the kidneys, everything being loved, cared for, and returning to a state of homeostasis. And as it works its way down over the belly, coming down towards the hips. Let's focus on the back of the neck, and this time we'll come down the back, vertebra by vertebra, over the spine. Just feel that warmth, almost like a waterfall of golden or white light, whatever it is that you want to see, coming down gently over the spine, vertebra by vertebra. And again, if your mind does wander, don't worry. Just bring it back when you get a chance. Just notice it's wandered off and bring it back. About halfway down the back now, continuing vertebra by vertebra by vertebra, down towards the very end of the tailbone. And now bring that light around the hips, swirling around your waist area, around the hips. And now we're going to focus on the top of the right leg. Bringing that light now down into the buttock, into the front of the leg, making its way down the leg towards the knee. If you do struggle with the knee, feel that light loving, healing, resting, restoring, rejuvenating. And now from the knee into the lower part of the leg, the shins, the calves, down towards the ankles. Now feel that light go into the right ankle, swirling around. So loving, so restful, so relaxing. And then finally to the ball of the foot, the arch of the foot, into the lower part of the foot. And now bringing it forward and coming out of the right toe, the big toe, second, third, fourth, and finally the little pinky. 5 beams of light coming out of that right foot. Now go to the top of your left leg. And I want you to imagine right now that light coming down over the top of that leg, gently swirling around, relaxing, helping you to feel really, really relaxed. Moving into the knee, swirling around the knee, releasing any aches or pains that you might have. And then finally, into the foot, the ball of the foot, the arch of the foot, coming forward now, beam of light coming out through that left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. And now the entire body is filled with this golden light, resting, relaxing, restoring your body. Now, whilst the entire body is covered in this gorgeous, warm, loving light, I want you to put a smile on your face. Just feel like maybe you're sitting in a hot tub. It feels so relaxing. Taking it easy. And maybe whilst you sit there in that hot tub, you're outside in the garden, you can hear the birds twittering. You can see the late night sunshine in the distance. And all is well with you. All is well with you. And just for a moment, I know that we all have different things going on in our lives, but just for a moment, realize that everything is okay. I know you might be thinking about finances or bills or work or how am I going to do this, how am I going to do that, but just for a moment, right here, right now, with our eyes closed, everything's okay. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4. And let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do a 5. Breathing in through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And a big smile. I can't see you. Nobody can see you. A big smile. Everything's okay. Right here, right now, this moment, this second, everything is okay. Okay, now we're going to take that light away. So we're going to do everything we did in reverse. So bring the light back in through the left foot, bringing it into the toes, into the underside of the foot, the arch of the foot, bringing that light back now to the ball of the foot and up into the ankle. Bringing it up through the lower part of the leg to the knee, pulling it back now over those giant muscles in the top part of your left leg, and bringing it up to the buttock and finally the waist area. Let's do the same now with the right leg, bringing that light in, those beams of light back into the toes. Across the bottom of the foot, the arch of the foot, the heel of the foot, up into the ankle. Drawing that light back up now over the leg towards the knee. From the knee over those giant muscles in the top part of the leg. Into the buttock and finally up towards the hip. Feel that light spinning around your waist area. Loving you, caring for you, helping you to rest and relax. And now up through the back, vertebra by vertebra, climbing up that ladder of bones, one by one by one. As it makes its way up, just imagine any tension in your back, and this is where many people hold the tension, just imagine it being released. Vertebra by vertebra. If you need to, just roll the neck gently, releasing any aches or pains you may have. Now bringing the light up from the waist area over the belly, up over the chest, up towards the neck. And now let's bring it up through our left arm, bringing the light in from the fingers, into the palm of the hand, into the wrist of the hand, up through the forearm, into the elbow, from the elbow coming up through the biceps and triceps, to the shoulder, up to the neck. And now the right hand, bringing the light in through the fingers and thumb, into the palm of the hand, into the wrist, up through the forearm, towards the elbow. Now from the elbow, over the biceps and triceps, into the shoulder, and finally bring it up to the back of that neck. Just for one final time, imagine somebody standing behind you, massaging your neck and your shoulders. Feels so good. And now taking it up over the back of the neck, the back of the head, to the top of the head. As that masseuse gently rubs just the very edge, the very end of her fingers on your scalp. You can almost feel it. And now the light continues its journey, returning to the forehead, down over the bridge of the nose, and just two pools of light sitting over the wells of your eyes. Just allow that light for a moment to work on the eyes, healing, resting, relaxing, allowing the eyes to feel really calm. And now bringing that light back in front of the eyes, back to that little ball of sunshine. It's sitting there, just spinning around gently. Just look at it for a moment. Just pay attention to it for a moment. And imagine that sunshine. And now it zooms off into infinity. And even though it's gone, you can almost feel the light still there. But it has gone. Take a final opportunity to smile. A few deep breaths at your own pace. And then when you're ready, just open your eyes. Now, I always talk about that being a little sunshine. One of the great things about mindfulness is just paying attention to things. And I was just thinking earlier this week, in fact, I might make this some posts that I start doing, just thinking about how incredible it is, how we take life for granted, week in and week out, day in and day out, hour in and hour out. We take life for granted. Because just think about it. If you were lucky enough today, well, even if you couldn't see the sun, you got the effects of the sunshine. You got to see daylight. How many miles away is the sun? Have a guess. How many miles away is the sun? This was just something that crossed my mind during the week. And I think I am going to start doing posts just to have us thinking, just so we can think life is amazing, because it really is. Have a guess. It's got to be millions, right? Millions of miles to the sun. 5 million? 10 million? 50 million? It's actually 93 million miles to the sun. And I do think it's pretty amazing that you can look into the sky. Obviously, you don't want to look at it too long because it's going to damage your eyes, but you can feel the heat, and it's 93 million miles away. That's pretty epic. And I'm not telling you to become spiritual. I don't have a Buddha here. I wouldn't class myself as a Buddhist. I put him there because he's got his eyes closed, and that's really what this is all about. So I wouldn't want you to think that, I think of myself as a Buddhist. But the fact is, this gives us the opportunity to close our eyes and just think about how amazing life is. So I'll start posting in the next few days. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, just look for Engage with Success, or you can go to engagewithsuccess.com, and there's links to all the social media platforms there. And I'll start to post things so you can really start to think about how amazing life is. And I know it's easy to tell us how bad life is, and we get caught up in all sorts of things and problems occur. I know. But the fact is, we can always take the opportunity to make sure that we can de-stress and we can balance ourselves as much as possible. It's not always perfect. It's not always easy to do. I understand that. But it is a great opportunity for us to be able to chill out and say, I want this or I want that. And take the opportunity just to breathe. Take the opportunity just to close your eyes for a few minutes and relax. Now, of course, today is all about sleep. So can you imagine laying in bed? You might want to think about how the day went. If you do that, try to focus on all the good things. Or if something bad happened, focus on it for a moment and imagine what is the way you would like it to have happened. If you fell out with someone, the conversation got heated, well, maybe you can imagine saying sorry to them, healing that relationship, and then close your eyes and go into the meditation. Now, the one that I've just did with you is called a body scan, and I've been doing that for some time. I will be changing that over the coming weeks. So if you're becoming accustomed to it, and again, repetition is important because it's a practice. And the more that I do this, if you've been with me now, I think this is number 7. If this is your 7th time of attending, you'll find this easier and easier and easier to do. And the reason for that is that when we do something, electrical stimulus takes place in the brain. But when we repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, it becomes a habit. And you will have plenty of habits in your own life. Driving is a very good example of that. You can drive from A to B and sometimes think, I don't even remember, were the lights red, were the lights green? It just seems like it took 2 minutes instead of half an hour. And so when we're doing things that we do repeatedly, time and time and time again, it gets easier and easier. It becomes a habit. Sometimes we just grab some food and eat it without even thinking. And mindfulness is all about stepping out of our regular lives and becoming a little more aware of what we're doing, becoming conscious of our breathing, conscious of our thinking, conscious of our eating, conscious of our communication with friends and family. That's really what mindfulness is all about. It's taking control of your mind. Now, again, it will control you sometimes. And if you've got habits in place, and in fact, it's said that by the time we get to 35, pretty much all of our habits are in place, and it just gets harder and harder and harder to change them. Doesn't mean it's impossible, but it can become harder because if you've been doing something for 20, 30 years, it's going to get harder and harder to change that. If you've got your perceptions of the way the world works, then it's going to make that a little harder for you to change. But it can be done. And that's called neuroplasticity. So feel free to go online and read all about that. You'll find plenty of it if you go to Google. Okay, I'm mindful of the time now. So let's move on to our final part, which is called meditation. And again, meditation, really, we're talking about using this for sleep. I would certainly say consider doing this when you're in bed, because if you do it when you're on the sofa, if you do it in the armchair, the chances are you'll be there for a few hours. Let me lean over to show you my secret weapon. This is mine. It is well used. It was a birthday present, I believe, a while ago. And what you can't tell is that on the left and the right, it's got speakers in. So what I'm able to do is pull this down. I can cover my eyes so I'm in darkness. And now I've got on the left and the right speakers. And it hooks up to my iPhone. And I've got the opportunity to turn the volume up and down on here. I generally do it on my phone because I know where the settings are without even thinking. And just hidden away in here, if I show you this way, look, you can see there's a speaker. Can you see it? A little round speaker in there. And on this side, the same idea. Little round speaker in there. And it's epic. So it's really, really good in the summer months when it's getting bright at 5 or 6 in the morning. Oh boy, even if I don't turn the music on, it helps me to stay asleep much longer. And if I really have had a day where I'm busy and I can't come down, I could listen to music like we're playing right now, or I can listen to some of my favorite tutors and instructors and just listen to the words of wisdom that they've got to share. So epic. Consider getting yourself a set of those. I should get a set, right? And brand them Engage with Success. I haven't. That is not a sell. I'm not trying to sell you anything, but that is a great idea. It really does help people to chill and relax. And they're Bluetooth, so you haven't got wires around or anything of that nature. Okay, I'm going to move on to the final part right now. So meditation, I highly recommend you do for sleep, purposes of sleep. Of course, you can do it any time of the day, but if it's to help you sleep, then this is certainly going to be something I would do in bed. Take the opportunity to lie down, get comfortable, and then just start to think. Now, we'll start with a body scan, but it'll be much faster. And then I'm going to take our mind to some other places, different places. What I would recommend is if you have had a tough day, that you start to think about how you would like it to be. Now, last week we did imagination and visualization, and this would really be the same sort of technique. Imagine, visualize how you would like the event to have gone. Or if you've got a big event coming up that you're anxious about or nervous about, think about it in your mind and see that happening the way you want it to be. Now, I'm not telling you that if you do that, it will work. I'm not telling you this is not manifestation technique. Well, it actually is a manifestation technique, but I'm not telling you right here, right now, that if you close your eyes and meditate one night, that you'll make it happen. This is practice. And to manifest, and manifestation and money and motivation, these are all things that I'm going to be covering over the coming weeks. But manifestation, again, is something that you've got to work on. It is a practice. If you close your eyes and say, I want to win the lottery, well, maybe it's a good idea to go out and buy a ticket, but I can't guarantee you're going to go win the lottery. But if you do that repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly, I will say that you're going to improve your chances dramatically. And if you can really start to believe this, if you can make this part of your vibration, your resonance with winning or achieving that goal at work, then you can see dramatic results. I've done it myself. And so I know that this stuff works. There are a lot of different books out there. There are a lot of different movies or documentaries that talk about this type of thing. In fact, jump on YouTube and you can listen to lots. But the fact is, if you don't make it a practice, it won't change anything. If you do it once, it certainly won't change anything. If you do it once a week, it's unlikely to change anything. But if you just start with once a week, that's a great step in the right direction. And again, this is about building your muscle. This is about building your mindfulness muscle, your meditation muscle, your mind muscle. Your mind matters. You can take control of your mind. All righty, let's have a go at meditation. Let's have a little bit of fun with this. So Start with the breathing. Close your eyes. Get comfortable. You could lie down tonight if you want to, because that's what we're saying. It's for sleep. I'd rather you stay in the chair and finish off the broadcast. And then maybe, because it will go onto YouTube, you could listen to it while you're in bed. That would be entirely up to you. Okay, let's take the opportunity right now to take a nice deep breath in through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4. And let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4. A very fast body scan now. The ball of light, that sunshine, that little sunshine, 2, 3 inches across, 4, 5, 6 inches ahead of your eyes, is back. Here's a chance to repeat, to practice, to build that muscle. So imagine the light building up now. The heat's coming off that little ball, and you can feel the light in the wells of the eyes. Taking up now onto the bridge of the nose, onto the forehead. Bringing that light up onto the top of the head, down over the back of the head, onto the neck. Massaging the back of the neck. It feels great. Onto the shoulders. Let's go down through the right arm, down towards the elbow, through the forearm, into the wrist, into the palm, and now 5 beams of light out of the right hand. Left hand shoulder. Down over the biceps and triceps, into the elbow, down through the forearm, into the wrist, now coming out through the palm, into the fingers, and 5 beams of light coming out of the left hand. Bring that light down over the chest. As it makes its way down, imagine it healing the organs. It's the lungs, the kidneys, the liver, making its way down onto the belly, over the diaphragm, down towards the waist. And now we go back to the top of the neck and work our way down the back, down the spine, vertebra by vertebra, one by one. And if this is somewhere you get aches and pains, just focus for a little bit longer and imagine, stretch if you need to, and feel any tension being released. Down to the bottom end, the tail end of the spine. Now feel the light going around your hips, around the waist area, into the right leg, the buttock, down into the big muscles of the right leg, down towards the knee, down towards the ankle, into the ball of the foot, the heel of the foot, the arch of the foot, and now finally out through the 5 toes. And now the left side, into the buttock, into the big muscles at the top of the leg, coming down towards the knee, down over the shins, into the ankle, into the ball of the foot, the flat of the foot, now coming out through the toes on the left-hand side. Now your entire body once again submerged in this loving, relaxing, gorgeous light. Now whilst we're there, I want you to imagine for a moment, just calmly listen to all the sounds that are in the room wherever you are. Can you hear any other noises in the room that you're in? If you can't hear any in the room, what about from next door? Maybe someone's got the telly on. Maybe you can hear the kids laughing and joking. Can you hear any other sounds in the home? We've got pets. Just focus on the sound for a moment. What can you hear in the home? And now take that attention, take it outside the home. Can you hear what's going on outside? Can you hear cars perhaps driving past? Can you hear a plane overhead? Helicopters. Maybe you've got a window open, you can hear the birds. Now let's go to smell. Just for a moment, breathing in through the nose. Can you smell anything? Is there a candle burning? Have you got incense going? Can you smell a partner's fragrance? Can you smell the pets? And as you're focused on your breathing and smell and the nose, as the air comes in through the nose, try to feel the temperature of it. Is it cold air coming in? Is it warm air coming in? Can you feel the air coming in through the nose? Can you feel it? Maybe moving the hairs around. And then if you let the air in through the nose and out through the mouth, can you feel the temperature of the heat of the breath as it comes out? Can you feel the air coming across the lips? And now just for a moment, let's go to touch. If your hands are on your lap, maybe just move your fingers around gently. Don't open your eyes. Just use the sense of touch to notice what your trousers, your jeans, your dress, or maybe your legs, maybe you're in shorts. What does it feel like? Is it soft? Is it bumpy? Does it feel like it's felt or cotton? Or can you feel the nylon in there? Just really pay attention to how that feels. Okay, now bring all the energy to your forehead, to your mind's eye, everything, all your senses, and focus everything just above the bridge of your nose, and imagine your mind's eye looking out into the room with your eyes closed. Just imagine what you've got around you. Can you, in your mind's eye, see the sofa, see the armchairs, see the television? Think about the room that you're in. What's your favourite thing in the room that you're in? Have you got a little relic? Maybe a souvenir from a holiday? Maybe you just love your laptop, love your television, or love your armchair. It's so relaxing. What is it that you enjoy most? Now take that energy and continue pushing it out. Your energy now going out around the entire house. Imagine enveloping it, almost like your arms are around the house and you can give it a warm, loving hug. If you don't live in a house, your apartment, your flat. Now take that energy and imagine it enveloping the entire street where you live. What are the other houses like? Are they all very close? Is it flats? Think of the people that live near you. Now take that energy beyond that and think of your entire neighborhood. And now taking it from your neighborhood, imagine your energy now radiating out and covering your entire village or town or city. Just send out a little bit of love to everyone that lives near you. Just have a sense of community for a moment. And now take that energy beyond your village or town or city and imagine enveloping your entire county, your entire state, a much larger area of land. And now take it beyond that. Take it over your entire country. If you're here in the UK, imagine now the island being wrapped around with your arms, your energy hugging the UK, whatever your country might be, Romania, Australia, America, Chile, Ecuador, doesn't matter, wherever you are, Mexico. Send your energy and your love out across the entire country, and now finally across the entire continent, pushing it out further and further and further. More and more countries being enveloped by your loving energy. And now let's go all the way to the entire planet, pushing your energy out so you can now grab a hold of the entire planet. Just for a moment, imagine how the world would be if it was all peaceful and all loving. We could end the wars. We stop thinking about people's color or race or language or class. We're just all friends and family, because we're all here to have a good time. We're all living and breathing, and we're all going to die anyway. So just send out as much love as you can. And as you send out all that joy, start to feel it coming back to you. Just sending out as much love as you can. The more love you send, the more you get back. Send out that love. And maybe just for a moment, if you've got loved ones that are no longer with you, as you've got the entire planet enveloped in your arms, maybe you can feel them, a sense of their energy with you. Alrighty, let's start to bring that energy back now from the planet, bringing that energy back down to our entire continent. Here in the UK, that's the whole of Europe, bringing it back across Europe, across the channel, back to the UK. Now from the UK, the entire UK, just down to your state, withdrawing all the energy, the entire county. And now from the county, bringing all that energy back, bringing it back to your city, your town, or your village. Now bringing that energy back to your house. And finally from the house back to your room. And now finally to where you are. Put a big smile on your face. And again, because today is all about sleep and enhancing sleep, improving your sleep, just imagine doing that when you go to bed tonight. It doesn't have to take long. It could be 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Laying down, closing your eyes, and sending your energy out around the entire world. Thinking of loved ones here and far. And just sending love to everyone. Okay, we've come to the end of today, so let's just take a nice deep breath in through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on to it for 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it out for 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you're ready, feel free to open your eyes. I hope you found that useful. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, the more you come to this is every Monday at 7, hence M7. It's all about your mind. Your mind does matter. and the more control you take over your mind, and the more that you realize you can control your mind. You can think negatively, or you can control it to think positively. That's never 100%, not all the time, but you will have had occasions when your mind spirals out of control and puts you under a lot more pressure and stress than you need. And that can certainly happen lying in bed, worried about finances or money, or maybe the kids, or how are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? Or you fell out with somebody. Take a moment to let all of that go. Just rest, relax, and bear in mind that when you go to sleep, whatever you last think about is likely to stay with you throughout the night. So if you're thinking about negative things, worrying about things, and I promise you, I've been there many times myself. Around 20 years ago, I was not just broke, I was heavily in debt. And I can remember, it makes me shudder thinking about it, laying in bed, looking at the moon, thinking, how on earth am I going to pay these bills? How on earth am I going to pay off all the credit cards? It's not easy. And the more tired you become, the more stressed you become, the worse this all gets. But I found a way to recover. It took me a few years, but I recovered and life is good again. And so these things happen to us. It's part of the excitement or the adventure of life. Of course, there's a lot of other words we could use, but let's call it an adventure. So thank you for your company. I do appreciate it. If you'd like to learn more, feel free to reach out. You can always go to my website, engagewithsuccess.com. You can write to me through there. You can send me messages. You can request the newsletter. I send that out every Sunday, generally at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's a little bit late this week because being bank holiday. But every Sunday that comes out, every Monday we do this. I have a Facebook page, I have a Facebook group, Instagram, all those sorts of things, you know. And if you know of a group or a company that would enjoy a 45-minute keynote presentation on motivation, if you would like, maybe you've got staff and you would like to, or maybe you're a team leader and you would like to see them increasing their productivity, if you would like to see them achieving bigger goals, then get in touch. And I do offer a 45-minute talk where I turn up at the offices. Generally, people do it in the morning. It might be a staff meeting or sometimes quarterly sales meetings. And I come along and do a motivational speech there. Feel free to reach out and I'll happily help you. And of course, if you'd like coaching, and that could be about success, it could be about fulfillment, it could be about career, it could be about finances or relationships. If you'd like some coaching, feel free to reach out and I'll happily have a chat with you. I offer a 15-minute strategy call, which is completely free of charge. So signing off for another week. Thank you for your company. Be well. Take care of yourself.